Welcome, Pokemon players, to another episode of Discount Pokemon Decks. Today, we have Yanmega Shiinotic Vespiquen. So, yeah, our focal point is basically Yanmega's attack. Both the Assault Boom, which does 50, 70 if your opponent has a tool. Yanmega Break, which its damage is not affected by weakness. And again, both attacks can be done with no energy, as long as you have 4 cards in your hand, which we try to achieve through cards like Judge. N can help us get there. Birch can help us get there, and even Unown if we have problems. That is the basic focal point of the deck, is to be able to attack without energy. And so you can see we have a minimal amount of energy. I originally considered doing this deck entirely without energy, but I chickened out. No, it just seems to be a little more consistent if you have some energy there. And this energy helps in a couple of different ways. The Yanmegas and the Vespiquens both can retreat for free, but Shiinotic, there's 2 I's there. Shiinotic, I don't know. I'll call it Shiinotic. And Unown, sometimes they'll get Lysandered or caught in the active spot, so it's fine using this energy on them to retreat because you really don't need it to attack. And there's only 2 Vespiquen, so you can see here I'm not too concerned about losing this energy all that much. This deck does pretty well without it. I mean, sometimes you'll need it with the Yanmega, sometimes your opponent will play some kind of hex, but that's what Vespiquen is here for, to kind of help out in those areas. But the main focal point is to get up and get attacking early. And usually by turn 2, if you're lucky, you can have one of these available. And when you do, it makes it a lot easier to evolve all your Pokemon. This is a great card here, this Illuminate ability. If you have room for it in a grass deck, you can search your deck for any grass Pokemon. So the cool thing is, even if you have one up and you have a Morelull on the bench, you can use its ability to get the other Shiinotic and evolve that, and then get another Pokemon. Then you're doing 2 per turn. So I don't have that much. I feel this is like a draw. This helps with the draw as well as Unown. So I only have 9 draw cards here. A little less than I'd like to, but the main goal again is to get these guys up so that I can get these guys up. And Vespiquen's here just in case. And so we have some synergy here. Unown helps a little with the Vespiquen, helps with the draw. Thin out the deck a little bit so these cards, the cards we need, get in our hands a little bit quicker. Also helps us balance the number of cards in our hand. If we play these out early and maybe don't use them and then we're short a card here or there, we can use that to draw a card. The energy is also here in case we need to get rid of a card in our hand. So for example, let's say I have something like Forest of Giant Plants, I have 3 cards or 5 cards in my hand, and they're all like cards I can't use at the instant. Seeker, Forest of Giant Plant, maybe I've already used a supporter, so I can't use another one. If I have an energy in a hand, I can place that on anyone to get rid of that card out of your hand. So it does help as well. So there's some synergy there. There's some kind of what do I call it? Opposition as well. Obviously, having energy with an attacker that doesn't use energy is in opposition. Revitalizer helps you get Pokemon in your hand. They get knocked out. You put them right back in your hand, place them right in play if Forest of Giant Plants is there. But it works against Vespiquen's attack, this Be Revenge. So there is some fair amount of opposition. And even here, Field Blower. Yanmega's Assault Boom does more damage if your opponent has a Pokemon tool and have Field Blower. Field Blower is here for the Garbodor with the one that shuts down abilities, the Garbatoxin. So if your opponent has that and your abilities are cut off, you will need energy to attack, and we cannot have that. So this is here to prevent that. Additionally, we can just Lysander that Pokemon, but that makes it more difficult. So we have to Field Blower out, then hopefully use this Barrier Break to knock out that Garbodor. But I haven't seen it that much in this meta. So it's definitely taken a back seat as opposed to before. That's why this card was pretty good when it came out, and then Garbodor was everywhere, and it became less useful. And now with Field Blower, it's back into play, I feel. Vespiquen also helps out with Intelligence Gathering. If you get stuck with a bad hand, you can drop some energy on your Vespiquen and use that to attack. I don't know. This deck's pretty straight up. I think I named all the kind of synergies there. Obviously, like Trainers Mail and whatnot. Forest of Giant Plants. The Level Ball and even the Timer Ball helps us get the Shiinotic up and going. So it's very important to get this set up and going as fast as possible and kind of keep it protected. You can let one go by because you can always revitalize it back in your hand. But you know, you want to be drawing one of these every turn, and it's a huge benefit. It really helps you build up and get your attack going as soon as possible. Judge is also good to stifle your opponent's hand. It kind of stinks for them to get, you know, sucked down to 4 cards if they have more. So that's another kind of kung fu you can use. Also good if your opponent plays something like Talonflame or Lapras. They think they're getting extra cards in their hand, and we're just going to use Judge to make them go away. But for the most part, this deck works pretty well. These attacks do work and are pretty strong. Obviously stronger if your opponent has a tool. Sometimes people will not play their Pokemon tools, but that's a benefit as well. So I guess with that, there's not much else to say other than let's go to the first game. All right, so our opponent's choosing who goes first. I don't mind not going first with this deck. Forest the Giant Plant helps us attack, and actually I may prefer it in some matches as well. Not the best hand, but yeah, I've got a Judge. I've got a Trainer's Mail. I'm not thrilled about having Morelull as our active Pokemon, but that's all right. We do have Revitalizers in this deck. We can get him back if he does get knocked out. I think Rainbow Road doesn't really attack till like the 2nd or 3rd turn. If this is that, let's see, what are we... No! Gardevoir, probably Mega Gardevoir. Alright, so if it's Mega Gardevoir, our opponent will have Spirit Links that will help with our attacks. But it is difficult because our opponent can kind of get rid of the Mega Gardevoir that was damaged. So this could be difficult. Alright, and I'll take that. Not like I had a great hand. Hopefully get some more basics out. Another means to draw more cards. My opponent obviously did not have a good hand to start off with. Alright, this is much better. Except for the Trainer's Mail. I have to hit on the Trainer's Mail here. Not really. I have 2 unknowns, so I may get something with that. It would be nice to get a nice big draw card. Another N with this or something. Or maybe not an N if my opponent's down to 2 cards, but who knows. One could be a Sycamore, so it's hard to say. No, he's got a Shaman too, who we may Lysandre later on, although it's not a single shot to kill off that Shaman with this deck. Unless he, for some reason, puts a Floatstone on it. So I could always Lysandre the Shaman just to maybe try to get him to put a Floatstone on it. I'm thinking he does not have double colorless energy in this deck, so he could put a single and use his Fairy Garden Stadium to retreat. I'd like to see the Stadium now so I can replace it with mine, but did not appear to be in the cards. Alright, let's see what we got here. We've got to hit on this Trainer's Mail. We don't have to. We have the possibility of getting something with these unknowns, but... Alright, we have a Judge. Ooh, that Escape Rope would be so nice. But I can't risk it, so we'll have to get something with this Judge. And I'm going to play the Judge first and then see with the unknowns what happens. More important to set ourselves up than Lysandre this guy and concern ourselves with. Not a great hand, but I'll take the V-Seeker. And I'm probably going to cash in these unknowns. Again, important to get the... another Judge here. Not at all what I wanted. So I'm not going to play energy or anything. I could put an energy on this guy and either sleep him or retreat and let him go after the Yanmega. Actually, I'm going to do that. I want to try to save this guy. I don't mind losing the energy again. I don't really need it in this deck. I know you're thinking, are you crazy, double colorless just to save him? But yeah, that's fine. We can sacrifice 1 or 2. Combee can be next. Again, getting this guy, getting a Shiinotic here of greater importance than whatever else. Let's see, does my opponent have no draw here? Or is he going to play an N? No, he's going to pull an N. That's great for me. I think he's going to pull an N. Yep. All right. Good for me. I'm getting 6 cards here. So you know, he's playing EXs, so I don't mind knocking out 2 for 1. He can take the first shot if he can knock out this Yanma, I should say. I can make another one, and good, I've got the level balls here. No draw, though, so not as good, and I'm not going to use this Field Blower for obvious reasons. Let's see, does he survive? Yes, all right. That is good, and he's going to do some damage here. All right, I can actually fully upgrade him. Let's see what we got here. I can use the other one on an unknown as well. Wait a second. Oh, Shiinotic is out of reach here, so I'm definitely going to use it on one unknown to draw a card, and that's the only one I have here that I can use. So I'm going to have to consider this carefully. I have to keep it 4 cards, too. It's another consideration. So let's plan this out. Okay, that's definitely got to happen. I can play one more of these. I don't have to upgrade him because the... I can use the unknown, and that'll keep my hand neutral. What do I want here? Another Yanma, I think. Right, because then next turn I can upgrade if I need to, but I'm a little low. Well, let's see. I can play this unknown here. And if it gives me an N or something to draw, no, but that's good. That'll help put this guy in my hand if he gets knocked out again. So there we go. We're back at 4 cards, and we're going to do a whole good amount of damage here. 120, yes. One more and he goes down. So you can see how powerful this deck is. Not only am I playing a little hand kung fu, but I'm also doing damage on the board. No energy. You see how that double colorless, really all it was good for was to retreat. The Morelull. I did not get the Shiinotic, and that's unfortunate with the level balls there. Not sure if I can really go with Ultra Ball in this deck. But it's good. The level balls will help me get more guys out, and you could see with Forest of Giant Plants, if I do get the Shiinotic, I can easily upgrade. And if he does get knocked out, I can put him right back in my hand. Well, he's going to turn into a Mega, but that doesn't scare me. I think even with the Mega, I have enough damage to knock him out. I just have to make sure I have the right number of cards in my hand. Yep, 210. So unless he puts it on this guy, no. Kind of surprised. Maybe will he retreat? Alright, not at all surprised. I see a N being played, which I'm fine with. No, Hex Maniac! Wow! Did not see that coming. All right. So time to panic a little bit. We'll have to offer up a Combee sacrifice. You know, if I was smart, I might have played the Field Blower to get rid of that, but I want to knock these guys out, so... Yeah, Hex Maniac. Look at that. A good play by my opponent. That is a weakness of this deck, so... I will have to sacrifice a Combee if this guy gets knocked out, and he will be, so... And to my knowledge, there's no way to unhex Maniac anything. Alright, Level Ball. Nothing to really help us. The Vespiquen, but it's really not helpful here. That was not a great card for me to pick up. I almost want to go with another Combee. Instead, we'll go with another Yanma. Let's go with the Combee, just so in case I do need to actually attack at some point. He keeps Hex Maniacing me. Alright, so let's get our Pokemon back in our hand. We're at 4. We're going to hold off here. I'm not going to play any more cards because I really can't afford to. So, let's see what happens. Can he keep up with the Hex Maniac? He can swap these two. Yeah, Hex Maniac again, so... Really, in theory, he should only be able to do this 5 turns. But that's really all he needs, so... Oh boy. Of course, my first match recorded is going to come up with the guy that gets Hex Maniac early and keeps with it, so... Let's see, I can play an N here, and I'm going to... get some more cards in my hand. How much is in here? Only 4, so I only do 50 damage, which is not that bad. But you know what? Let's go for it and force the action here. Next turn, I can also go after maybe this Gardevoir. So let's see what happens here. Fairy Garden, and he'll probably get rid of this guy. See if he can afford to play Hex Maniac again. Yep, he's going to bench this guy, chuck him, and then I'm going to have to start from scratch against this Mega Gardevoir. Unless I Lysandre this guy. But even if I do, he can put him back on the bench, so... Sycamore. So we will be able to attack this turn. Eventually your opponent's going to run out of V-Seekers and Hex Maniacs and all that. So he's used 3, so there's really only one more I need to worry about. But this is scary here. He's going to remove this Mega Gardevoir. And in theory, he can just keep doing recycling between the 3, depending on what he has. My goal is to stop that cycle. So I think what's going to happen, he's going to bench this Mega Gardevoir, attack with this one, and send him to the discard. And I'm going to stick with this one. I'm not going to try to Sycamore him. I might just play a Judge here. Or maybe even a... Oh, no, wait. This is the one that does damage. Ah, Despair Rays on this one. So I can Lysandre him and kill him off. Yeah, that's what I'm going to end up doing. And that'll hurt this attack as well, so I'm fine with that. And that'll be probably the only card I play this turn. We'll use the one with more hit points, because I think after this guy goes away... Yeah, and unfortunately it's the only card I can play this turn. I do have a V-Seeker for next turn, so... We're just going to use this one. I know for sure that 100 points will definitely knock him out. The other one would have done more, I know. Alright, this is really good actually. I can play Forest of Giant Plants. I can put these 2 guys down. And then Sycamore and get a whole big hand. Although big hand could be scary. Maybe I'm better off playing a Judge. And make it tougher for my opponent to do anything. So we'll have to see here. He's applying all the energy on this Gardevoir here. Hex Maniac coming up. That's his last one. Unless he's got Puzzle of Time or something. Oof, killer, man, killer. And I'm going to send up the Morelull. I'm going to put the Yanmega, obviously, as my active for now. If this guy gets knocked out. Will he? 30 times... 5 is 150. Yep. Tough, man. Tough break here. Yep, there we go. So I'll put him as active just because I can, but yeah, I'm just going to retreat and let this guy take the brunt. I could go after... I could Lysandre this Mega Gardevoir, and maybe I will. Because I'm going to get rid of his stadium anyway. And I could always Sycamore or Birch next turn. So let's do that. Let's see if we can slow him down a little bit. I mean, there's no point in putting the Morelull as active anyway, so I'm going to keep it like this. And most likely he's got a stadium in his hand. I mean, if I don't anyway, it's a moot point anyway. He's got enough damage to one-shot these guys. I mean, I could get lucky, get breaks on them. So as long as he doesn't have a stadium, let's see, is it 2 to retreat? 2 to retreat. If he's got a stadium, it's just about over. Or single energy. Yep, there you go. All right, so this game's just about over. Totally got Hex Maniac here. Good play by my opponent. Let's see if the next opponent gets so lucky. I mean, think about it. In most people's decks, they only have 1 copy of that, so not likely that's going to come up 5 times in a game. With your opponent be able to do other things as well, so I think this is all academic here. I'll probably concede after he knocks this Yanmega out. Yep. All right. Good game to my opponent. And we'll be right back for game 2. All right. Game number 2 here. Game number 1 was met with a bunch of I was jabbed to death with Hex Maniacs. Would I like to go first? I'm going to still say no. I think I can get away with not going first. I have Forested Giant Plants. Aye. All right, but I have a Level Ball. Although I don't have much to draw with here, but the Unown becomes a extra card. What is my opponent playing? Something with double colorless energy and darkness. I get to draw another card. Good thing about this deck is it does have a lot of basic Pokemon, so you won't get a lot of mulligans. Yes, I would like to draw a card. Yeah, not that card. Ooh, Zoroark. Okay, I like this card. Don't really want to play against this deck right now, but better than Latios, right? Because I could have just gotten donked on the first turn. But he can't attack me. I'm not too scared. Be nice if he put something down on the bench to use this on. Oh, this is really good. Maybe I will get a first turn donk. Look at that. That'd be nice. I'm going to play this Unown now, because if I get a Forested Giant Plants in my hand, this game is over. No, it'd only do 50 damage. So I might as well play the end. Give my opponent a fresh hand too, unfortunately. That's even worse. This is even worse. He's unlikely to kill that Yanmega with a Zoroark, especially if I have nothing on my bench. And I did not get the Forested Giant Plants no matter what. I smell a Sycamore coming up next. Oh, wow. So let's see. Did my opponent get something better? Yes. Yveltal EX. Yes, all right. Yes. Now, would you really play that choice band? Well, he doesn't know what I'm playing. All he saw was an Unown and a Yanma. I don't know if I'd play a choice band there. Of course, this is what a floatstone you put on a Zoroark break. Wow, all right. So I'm going to knock out this guy. And I don't want to give my opponent a new hand. I'm fine with playing a Sycamore. I'm losing some draw here. But, yeah, 7 cards, right? Still haven't gotten the Shiinotic out here. What's going on with that? All right, so we're going to get a Morelull. There was 2 at the top there. No stadium either. What are the odds of all of this? Wait, I've got to keep to 4 cards, so I have to be a little bit careful. I think I'm going to hold on to this Trainer's Mail till next turn. So this is where I'm going to end up here. Next turn I can maybe evolve him. No point in doing anything now. 120, yes. So we're up 1-0 here. Double colorless, that's kind of meaningless, but that's all right. So next turn looks like evolve, Trainers Mail, something. Hopefully evolve this guy. Don't think I'll die. Here, look at this. How cool is that? Evil Ball. Oh, he removed his own tool. Interesting. All right. But what is he going to... He's got to do the Cyclone, right? I mean, Evil Ball is just going to do 60. And if I evolve this... Although I guess he could do Cyclone next turn, so... So yeah, Yanmega, good against the Veltal EX, good against anything that takes advantage of how much energy you had. I think I played a Mega Mew before. Alright, I can take it. Let's go. Oh, I'm tempted to use this on a Sycamore and get a really big hand. Let's play this first. Alright, we get our stadium. And yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go for Sycamore here. Need to get the cards I want in my hand. Sorry, buddy. We're going for the big guy. Let's get 7 cards here. 2 more than 5, so increase our odds a little bit and thins out our deck. Did not get... Oh, wait, timer ball. Hold on. Hold on. Yes! Oh, even better. So 1... 2, right? Is that what I need? Yep. And we're gonna play him. I've got to get down to 4 cards here, so but I'm pretty sure I have enough basics and whatnot to get to it. What do I have? Do I have anything here? No. And the reason why I put this break on is so he'll do the 100 damage. And if I do get knocked out, I got Revitalizer, so I'm not that worried. Let's put Unown down. Oh, look at this. I can grab another one. How nice is that? So here you go. Now you're seeing the synergy. And I could use this to get an extra card in my hand. Or I can use it to just get a Pokemon and... That's it. Now we're going to start rolling here. So 100 damage. So no tool for him, but, you know, if he had a Fighting Fury break, it would work against him because I would have the Assault Boom. So either way, my opponent's kind of stuck. Although that Field Blower trick was, I have to say, really nifty. So what is he going to do here? I'm guessing Y Cyclone. Yep. So now we're going to start trading 2 for 1 because that's going to go to him. I'm okay with that. I just have to make sure I have the proper number cards, and look at that. Look how this synergy is going to work right here. Oh, Revitalizer. Let's put 2 in our hand. Got a Forest of Giant Plants. Lay them right down. And you see, I'm not rushing to put everything down. Here, we could get Vespiquen going too. Nope, we have 4 cards. We're going to stop here. Oh, wait, we don't have to. Here, look at this. Oh, I don't have another Shiinotic. Ooh. I have to be careful here. I will put a Yanmega in my hand. So I could play this Revitalizer now. But it's better if I wait one more turn. And I have to make sure I have 4. Well, that'll do it. 4 cards in my hand. 100 damage. Knock him out. Still up. Let's see if we get... What do we get here? Oh, there we go. That's nice. That's really nice. And as long as we have that Forest of Giant Plants, we can evolve them next turn. If not, we're going to have to really get lucky here. And we can get down to 4 cards, I think. Get rid of the Level Ball. Maybe tough if he gets rid of the stadium. Oh, Lysandre the Unknown? The Shiinotic? No, the Vespiquen. He's scared of the Vespiquen. That is wrong because this Vespiquen isn't going to really do any damage to him. And I'm not even going to pull her back with this. So let's do 1, 2. Problem is, I really need this Yanma. Let's play the Level Ball. Let's see what we get in our hand. All right, we'll play another Unown. So again, we can just store these guys up. I don't need to play anything. I could play a Judge right now, but I don't really feel the need to. And I can't really evolve anyone here. So we're just going to go after his Yveltal. And I have this V-Seeker. Do I have a Lysandre if I need it? Yes, I do. All right, so it's looking good. My opponent's going to have a hard time. I'm guessing Zoroark might get into the mix here. I have a full bench, but no, single energy on him. So he's going to be a little late. I mean, unless he offers this guy up as a sacrifice, which is what I would do here. And he's not going to knock out this Yanmega in one shot either. If he does, oh, what is he calling here? Not Hex Maniac, right? Kukui, all right, that's fine. Kukui doesn't bother me. I've got 140 hit points. Fighting Fury Belt? Sure. Why not? Still going to knock him out. So you can see here, like, my opponent may or may not have a Hex Maniac in his deck. It doesn't matter. Why Cyclone? Not going to knock me out. I'm going to knock him out. This game is pretty much over. With the exception is I'm stuck with too many cards in my hand. No, we can fix that. Put that on him. I should retreat. Why make it easy for my opponent to knock me out? Let's do that. And knock my opponent out. Get 2 more cards. I'm getting too many cards in my hand. I can get rid of these unknowns. I could play all this stuff and still hit a Judge here. So I'm not too worried unless my opponent plays something like an N. If he does, I can put some cards in my hand with the Shiinotics and the Unown too. So, you know, come to think of it, I should have left this as active because he's going to do 150 damage. But either way, I'm going to do 100 damage on the Zoroark. So I'm feeling pretty good as long as I can get the cards out of my hand. Which really, I should just have to play a Judge, and that should be it. But I may build a second Yanma instead, just in case. I may do all that and then play a Judge. Unless my opponent plays an N here. He can play an N. I can get up to 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So even if I had a bare hand, I'll have 1 card in my hand. So again, not too concerned. I think I got this game under control. And if he plays a Delinquent here, even still, so, which I don't think he can. He played an N. Zoroark break on him. Ooh, that's not going to do, I'm not going to be able to do it. Wow. So I am a little bit stuck here, but that's okay. That gives him extra hit points. Good play by my opponent. I'm going to have to think about this now. Of course, he's going to go in the active spot. I hope I get something I can draw with here. Nope, Stadium, which I will play. No, I could be in trouble here. Less trouble now. I think I'm going to play the Sycamore and see what comes up. We'll do this first. 18 cards there, so I'm going to have to drop down to... I'm going to have to drop 3 cards, which I should be able to do. Alright, here's 1. Let's get... Ooh, I don't have a Yanma. Let's think. So I have to still drop down some cards. I can, if I pick up nothing with this, I can drop to 4. Perfect. And I'm going to do this instead. Because that means I mean business here. So here we go. Barrier break. Oh, wait, I could put a card in my hand, right? Yep, let's do that. Might as well, right? I could put can I put another card in my hand? I don't think I can. All right, so feeling okay here. Thought I had this in the bank, but You can swap these two out. I could be in trouble here, but I can Lysandre this guy back. So let's see what happens here. It's good. My opponent's making a good game of this, I'll tell you that much. I do have the ability to alter my hand. He's going to play another N here, which is okay because, again, if these cards aren't in my hand, I can use these two to put them in my hand and the N as well. So he's making it tough for me, especially if I have to Lysandre this guy. All right, I got a Judge, even better. So did he get the Zoroark he needs? Because he needs to evolve this guy and not attack with this one, because this one's one away from death. I don't think he did, or he wouldn't be taking this long. Even if he does, though, it's 100 hit points here. So either one of these is going to take him out. So I think I've got this. The thing he can hope for is I don't get 4 cards, which I don't think he can do anything about. I have a Judge. I'm going to play the Judge, just attack, and it's game over. Unless he goes to Oranguru. My opponent's... I have to give him credit. He is trying everything to stay alive here. He could put the Oranguru up, and that will make the game last longer. So I would not blame him if he did. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I wouldn't blame him. No, there we go. I think that's it. Zoroark, Mind Jack, and... well played to my opponent. Really, he put me to the ringer here because I was up by a lot more earlier on. And we're going to play this Judge. And that'll give us enough for 100 cards, 100 damage. I could play this Revitalizer, yada, yada, yada. No point. No point playing the stadium either. This is going to win the game. There we go. All right. So there we go. Got it just in the nick of time, it looks like. Yeah, so I give my opponent a lot of credit for that. He put up a heck of a fight. So I think you see how this deck plays out. Obviously, Hex Maniac is going to hurt it. But for the most part, it plays pretty fluid. These attacks are pretty strong, 120 or 100 damage. Vespiquen's there mostly for show. And actually in that game, my opponent was scared of the Vespiquen and targeted it, which I think was a mistake. But the Intelligence Gathering can help if you're stuck. Maybe a different Pokemon would be better here. But the problem is the energy. I played around with a few different types, Serperior. I played around with a few different cards, but none of them really fit. Vespiquen at least gives the presence of being able to attack, and maybe with a couple of these guys in there, it can actually get up to 100 points of damage. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with this deck. There's a lot of cool synergy in it. Definitely Shiinotic does a lot of work in this deck, so my opponent probably should have targeted that, but I think I had 2 at that point. Doesn't really matter. And you can even use 1 to help to get the other one out if you've got enough going on, putting pressure on your opponent. Unown help you thin out your deck, but also help you make sure you got those 4 cards in your hand, because that could be tricky at times. And I think you saw that in the last game, how that kind of helped out. Judge is great, helps you, hurts your opponent. Revitalizer can put cards in your hand or even put them on the table, whatever you need. I mean, maybe the other weak spot is the level balls in this deck. I'm not thrilled with that. It does not get the Shiinotic out. Maybe we can do 3-2 here. I don't know. But in any case, I think this deck works out pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with how it did in these games, and until next time. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you'll know when our next video is released. Also, check out our playlists where you can find videos by topics like mill decks or cheap EX decks.